couple of off weeks, the last 3 or 4 weeks here. Do you guys feel recharged for this stretch run here?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely just had some time to just reset. How Coach Monty said, just being able to get away, reset. Everyone that had little nicks or bruises, be able to get their body just back in 100%. So, bye weeks, yeah, they're definitely a necessity, especially in college football. The way your bodies be feeling mid season. So, it was definitely what we needed, and I think the team's nice and fueled up, and we got some of the injuries cleaned up out of there.
Jaden, it's a different team, but Thomas Castellanos is someone you guys have faced each of the last 2 years. What can you take away from playing him at BC for the last 2 years that you understand what he brings to an offense?
Yeah, I mean he's a dynamic athlete. He's a great quarterback. He's a great player. So I mean, whenever you're playing against guys like that, you always have to be ready for tricks and being make sure you're accounting for the run, make sure you're accounting for the pass. So just making sure that you know where what he's doing and what their tendencies are on first, second, third down. You gotta just be careful. He's a dangerous player whenever he gets hot. So you just gotta try to keep him bottled up, try to keep him contained. And I think if we do that as a defense, we'll be good.
Are there any similarities or differences that Florida State uses him in versus how BC used him?
I mean, for sure. I mean, whenever you have a dynamic athlete at quarterback, you can opens up a lot more in the playbook. You can, whenever you have to worry about that quarterback as well as running it with the running backs and then the pass game, obviously, whenever you have to deal with all three, it's usually a challenge. So you definitely have to be more attention to detail, more focused on just that aspect. On he could pull the ball and run it. So just being aware of his decisions and what he likes to do on certain times and certain situations. We'll be fine.
We were just talking to Jarikas. He was telling us about the moment he got put on scholarship down in Charlotte. You've known him, obviously, probably since he joined the program. What can you say about that moment and just kind of his career as a whole at Virginia Tech?
Oh, yeah, it's huge, man. I remember whenever he came in, just it's kind of crazy being an older guy now, but, just whenever he came in, he was just always a guy that just, kept his head down, didn't talk a lot, didn't just all he did was work. And, whenever you're an older guy, you find notice of that. You kind of notice those type of things. And I knew he was going to be a great player just by his work ethic. And he's very humble. He's a very humble kid. Just coming from where he came from, he's just a humble kid, that the sky's the limit for him, really, and I'm excited that he got put on scholarship. That was huge. I love whenever that happens all over the country. I love when the coaches put players on scholarships. It's like the best videos to watch. But yeah, I think his future and his ceiling is huge, and he has a bunch of potential, and he's going to be a great player for sure.
What have you seen from his blocking ability?
Yeah.
He's kind of paved the way for Cairo, a couple touchdown runs, but he's a guy who played quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
He's not naturally a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the more athletic guys, I'd say, that we have on offense. So just being able to use him in the blocking in the pass game, he's pretty much an all around tight end. It's exciting to see him grow this year, especially the jump that he made from last year to this year, and I'm excited to see it keep going in these next 3 games and then in the future in his next coming years. So I'm excited to see how he's going to even more develop into a better player.
Jaden, how scary was that injury that you suffered? I think late first half against Wake Forest.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't that serious. Just being able to, we have a good staff here, so I was walked through a great procedures, a great rehab process. Just being able to get back and have faith, and my team had faith in me. So I mean, it wasn't that scary. Whenever you have the training staff we have, the strength staff that we have, I knew I was in the right hands. I knew that I'd be back just fine.
If I remember correctly, you still played in the second half of that game and then missed the following week.
Yeah.
So it was something where rest helped you out a good bit?
For sure, yeah. That bye week leading into Georgia Tech was definitely a crucial week for me. Just living in the training room, living in the rehab room. I tried to see if I could make it out there for the Georgia Tech week, but unfortunately I wasn't. But that week was still very beneficial for me, so I wasn't able to play, but I did get a lot better on that week and get my mobility back for sure.
I think this is the first time we've talked to you during the season. How, for your senior year, how weird has this season been? How things have started, coaching change, and just everything that's going on throughout this season?
Yeah, it's been super weird. I mean, no one expected this type of season, but I still wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. You know, the guys that I've met here, the coaches that have coached me, and the guys that I've been blessed around to be with. I know it's a lifestyle. I mean, it's a lifestyle I would never change, and I would do it 100 times again. So, just being here around such guys that just love what they do, love their job. You know, everyone in the staff just out here loves their job. So just being around those type of people, it's kind of hard to come in here, work, and be all down and everything, because you still have some guys that are so here that are just ready to work and learn. So I try to give as much as I can back to the team and to the support staff that may not give them as much recognition or anything. But yeah, it was definitely a different adjustment. But I'm still happy. God puts us in these circumstances for a reason. And I have full trust in that, and I know I'm gonna get better from it for sure.
Anything else for Jaden? All right, there.
I wanted to ask you about KG and his leadership throughout this whole process. How valuable has he been in being that vocal leader, especially after the ODU game and throughout the season?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's definitely one of the heartbeats of our defense for sure. Not even just our defense, the whole team aspect, and just having a guy like KG who is going to give out 100%, and is going to have your back through thick and thin. Those are what get you through times like this. So just being able to have him as a vocal leader, and we have so many vocal leaders on this team that. Last year we had a couple of leaders, but now we just have leaders in every single position room. So just being able to have, you look to your left and right, you see guys that have leader capability, leader potential. So just having guys like Katie are crucial to, having a team, and they're really what you need for sure.
Your journey here at Virginia Tech, you've changed positions multiple times. You've, I believe, been part of 2 different coaching staffs, 4 different head coaches, if you consider the 2 interim coaches.
Yeah.
How would you assess your journey here at Virginia Tech, and how do you want to finish things out?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a different journey than anyone else in the country for sure. Like you said, 3 defenses, 3 defensive coordinators, 3 linebacker coaches. So, I mean, it's definitely a journey, I don't think God would have given me this challenge if I wasn't capable of prevailing through it. So, I mean, I think everything I've had, everything that's happened here has been a lesson. There's not really losses, but you're looking at them as lessons, and just being able to take as much information from each coach. So I've honestly been blessed with 3 great coaches and 3 different staff members that each have taught me different things about the game that are separately. So just having all 3, coaches, all the DCs, all strength staff, I've learned so much from so many professional individuals that I feel like I can go and translate that, and it'll prove me well.